weather's changing out there. It's getting cooler. It's turning fall-y. So here's an update on what's been happening on the farm. Starting off with the cows this video. These are the cows at the farm and they're all doing fine. Everybody stayed put this 2 weeks. Including Franklin, our bull, who was gone for 6 days a couple weeks ago. Over at the mesquite lease, everybody here stayed put as well. If you're new to the channel, a couple weeks ago, some of the cows got out and they're all at the farm. The escapees are at the farm. These cows here on the lease had no desire to leave. They've been here for months and we're not going to move them until probably hay feeding time or maybe sooner than that. 2 of them just had fairly new babies. We finally had a few glimpses of both of them. This red and white one is Peppermint Patty's, that's Marcy. And this red one is Pigpen and he is Sally's. Our other longhorn Bonnie is due hopefully in the fall and I'd like her at the farm when she calves. Whenever they have a calf, we have to wait a while before they bring them around and then we can hopefully get them on the trailer. Well, Jenny was about 3 days late, but they've got a 90% shade block and a wallow, but summer's ridiculously hot. There's no better time to sneak in a meal than when Mama's occupied. About 5 days later, Lily went into labor while we were there. She had this one and then I went in to watch and assist. Things were strange with this labor. She had the first one that was stillborn. It wasn't completely formed. Then she had this little girl. And then, I won't go into graphic detail, but she squirted out something that wasn't right. And then all of a sudden, this boy came into the world. Well, it's been 2 hours and Lily has had 2 babies. She's pushing occasionally, so I'm gonna have to check. The only other time we've had this happen, like a stuck piglet, was our first one and we lost her. And she only had 2 survive, but she had, I think, 8 in total. So I'm not looking forward to this. Probably won't record it. She's pushing just a little bit and she's really out of breath. So we're gonna give her electrolytes. I'm gonna get the jump start and we're gonna give her some water. We just got a 3rd one out. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, I get so nervous doing all that.
I think it's a boy. You scared the crap out of me.
I hope y'all are enjoying my preservation challenge videos. The chickens sure are. Let me tell you though, recording, preserving, and then editing was my entire life through that whole challenge. So I am glad it's almost over. There'll be another one on Wednesday, so make sure you're subscribed and everything. Time has been slipping away because these chicks are already a month old. They're getting huge and it was time for a clean out. I'm gonna have to do a lot more often now. I probably should have done it before now, but you know, stuff happens. They had to have this bigger feeder and I had to get it out of the shavings because they were just filling it with shavings and they couldn't get to the food. So they look like they don't have enough room, but they do. That one looks like a male right there. I have a brooder above this one and I might separate males and females if I can tell them apart. I mean, eventually they're going to get too big for this, so yeah, I'll have to separate them. They'll be with us through October. The weather lately has been pretty nice. This overcast makes it so much better. I hate the sun. It's in the low 90s, even into the high 80s lately. It almost feels like maybe going into fall, but I'm trying not to kid myself because this is Texas, so we could get back into the 90s. I hope not, though. Anyway, we are threatened with some rain, threatened with a good time. And we need to knock down some of this goat weed and other weeds that the cows aren't going to eat. It was raining all around us, so we thought maybe this project was not going to happen. But it did. It held off. In fact, we haven't had rain at the farm in over a month and a half. Alright, the rain held off. Now it can come because we've gotten the most important parts. But I still hear thunder rolling. Now I'm gonna go through here and pick up some of this trash. Where those posts are, that's where the bees were, and there were a bunch of cinder blocks. I already picked up a whole lot over there. This way, don't leave buckets out here. We're hidden. Now you can see our fruit trees. These ones that look like they're dying, those are almonds. Peach and pear is what we were told does the best out here, and they were right. This is some kind of apple. I don't know if you can see it. There are apples that can take our limited frost hours, but they don't thrive. And we have a pecan over here. Out here, we don't have water, so they just didn't get the water they needed. These are dead. Let's see with this Honey Crisp. So I'll be pulling those and getting the bags. That was easy. Yeah, we tried to do a garden out here at one point. It did not work. used to have turkeys in there. We ended up getting some rain at the house, but not at the farm. All I have left really is peppers and some flowers. So I'm gonna get this shade cloth taken down and I'll try to film it for you, but we'll see how much my phone heats up. I was kind of wanting to start my fall crops with the shade cloth on, but it touches the ground so much that it actually breaks some of the plants, so I didn't want to take that risk. I've done it before mid-September, having seedlings out there, so I'll just cross my fingers and hope that this is the actual cool down. I'm trying to think of more perennials to add to the garden because I do so many, one harvest crops that I don't need that many. It's just me and Derek most of the time. Okay, banana, we use these just for the leaves. It doesn't actually produce bananas here. I would suspect because we get too cold later on. This is a thornless blackberry, and I was real proud of the tag because they said it could sometimes have thorns. So don't go assuming you're gonna have thornless even though it says thorn. I had raspberries up here because for some reason I was obsessed with raspberries this season. And only 2 of them survived. I had fall gold and then I don't remember the variety on these, but they're still alive, just barely, and that's all the growth they've done. Right here at the end of my garden, I plan on putting grapes. One of these rows, I'd like to put some artichokes, maybe even more of the short rows, and just use that for a perennial. So here is where I put a lot of my root crops, beets, turnips, things like that. I also have a dwarf mulberry tree, which I read the tag when I bought it and it said dwarf. And then I planted it and that doesn't look very much like it's gonna be a dwarf. It said you could keep it trimmed to 6 feet, but it can get as tall as 10 to 15 feet. And I think 10 to 20 wide, or maybe the vice versa of that, but huge. So once this half barrel goes out, I might just plant that there. I don't know, because I also have a fig back here. The strawberries here, usually I keep them shaded and well watered all throughout the summer, and they just hate their life. So I'm gonna kind of let them go. I think a lot of people in Texas keep them as annuals. Pretty cheap to restart them, and that way they don't suffer through the heat. I just wanted to give you a quick update, even if it's just Courtney that cares about this tree. It's trying to fill in. You see all these shoots from up here. If you weren't around for this, the tornado took out a main trunk of this tree, and then a chunk came out here, and then it started splitting all the way down there. So we put this eye bolt in with washers, and ain't no getting those washers out now. See you Wednesday when I have our last Every Bit Counts challenge video. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. I upload most Sundays, and you can keep watching us grow our farm. Have a good one.